For many deceivers have gone out into the world, those who do not confess Jesus Christ coming in the flesh. This is the person of the Antichrist. It's 2 John 7, something like that, but it talks about the deceivers. And then in 1 John before that, it talks about how this time in the last hour is filled with Antichrist spirits. But there is one head of the snake. And when I saw this headline today, and I've had many talks with somebody who wrote a book called The Prophet, Ronald Stetton, who talks about this, the spirit of the Antichrist is everything that is the opposite of Christ. Jesus was very straightforward. He didn't hide. He didn't try to deceive. And yet in Britain right now, their prime minister, their far left government is trying to push legislation that would make it a crime to criticize Islam in any way. Now, can you just imagine that if that was done for Christianity? Islam has very even stricter guidelines when it comes to a lot of the things that are used to demonize the Christian faith. But the Christian faith, even though it's been very diluted because there's a lot of false Christians, a lot of people that proclaim to be Christians that really are not, that do not have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. They use religion hoping to get things that they want and to fulfill their heart's desire, not to fulfill the will of God, which we are all an integral component of. We all need to show grace. We all need to forgive. We all need to love God first through Jesus to be able to love others, sometimes in cases where they don't deserve it, because we didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it from Jesus. But the fact that there is a blasphemy law about to be set in place in Britain that will make it a crime to criticize anything Islam just shows you. If you read the Quran, it even, there's many Muslim scholars that boast. Some will try to say that this isn't true, but it says that Allah is the greatest of all deceivers. In their own holy book, it says that their God is the greatest of all deceivers. Now, some intellectually honest Muslim scholars will say that the God that created everything cannot use deception because that is not holy, that is not righteous. And yet, the greatest deceiver of them all, self-proclaimed Allah in his own holy book through Muhammad, what makes him the biggest deceiver is that he accepts Jesus Christ as a prophet of God, but not as God himself, who came in human form to die for the sins of the world. That is the only thing that Muslims cannot accept about Jesus. They cannot believe that about Jesus. If you want to believe in a prophet Muhammad who consummated marriages to 6-year-olds, that's have a good time trying to justify that, the many immoral things. And I don't take joy in exposing anything like this, but the truth of the matter is we are living in a world that is full of the Antichrist spirit, and there's nothing more Antichrist than the Islamic faith. They completely blaspheme the divinity of Christ, which is the only thing that saves us, is his divinity, and that he died on a cross willingly to pay our price. In Islam, it's you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, and then you're not even sure because, your God that they worship there is the greatest deceiver of them all. What kind of God, what kind of holy and righteous God could ever boast of being deceitful? Jesus Christ was not deceitful. He was a willing lamb led to the slaughter for us. And if they're trying to keep people from being able to criticize Islam, while at the same time everywhere is just criticizing and demonizing anything truly Christian, truly righteous, the writing's on the wall. Go read 1 John, 2 John. You'll get a good feel for where we are in the world right now and what's coming and what's required of true believers to persist in the faith. Do not grow weary of doing good. Galatians 6:9. We have to keep up the fight now more than ever because the harvest is ripe, but the workers are few. So now is the time to fight back, stand up for truth, even if it gets you in prison, to expose the flaws in a false religion that gives an impression of hope, but leaves people void of any true hope for eternal salvation, you got to do what you got to do. So all praise to Jesus. God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.